Bro, stop playing with me. Come on. Week 3, MFL Total Access. Let's go. Come on, let's start the show.
Man,
Week
I gotta
3.
ask, did you
Come on
did
now.
you think the Leafs had a chance to win Game 7? Like I know you're an optimistic fan.
How do you end the recording? How do you end the recording, Terry? End recording. So I was trying to be funny. No, I didn't think I said Leafs in 7 to start the series.
Okay, so
Um,
you hit it right on the head, right?
that's my heart was telling me, but of course, my heart always overrides logic. And the game was literally over as soon as the puck dropped. The first 10 minutes in, it looked like they were I can't skate. It looked like the Leafs. So it was like me playing for the Leafs. And then they do what they do best. They gave us false hope, and they lost 6-1.
But like obviously you're kind of you're a realist, right? So you knew they were gonna lose, but you're obviously like a diehard Leaf fan all at the same time. So like like what percent of you thought they might pull it off, you know?
Okay, I'd say my heart was saying 40%. Realistically, I was saying about 2.3%.
Okay, so not zero.
No, not zero. But Terry, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting the same result. Excuse
Well,
me, a different result. A
they
different
actually did
result.
something different. They gave the C to Matthews instead of Tavares.
That is true, which was a complete mistake, even though Matthews is my boy. I would say I'd trade everybody. Everybody.
Why is it a mistake that they gave the C to Matthews?
I like he's my dog. He's the best player to ever play in the NHL, but I don't think he's captain material. I would have stuck with Tavares. But no, it's we need blow ups this offseason. That's all I'm gonna say. Keep Matthews, trade everybody else.
And people may be asking why the hell are we talking about hockey? It's a flag football podcast, but we got to make the link with the football. Like the Leafs are the Cowboys of the NHL, right?
1,000%. 1,000%.
Like it's just getting more and more accurate. Like it's crazy. Like it's literally crazy.
I don't know which fans are more delusional, but I think I would gear towards the Cowboys.
I don't know, man. Leafs had already had the parade like drawn up for the Stanley Cup this year. Like I was seeing on Facebook, they were posting like from where they're going to parade, where's the march going to happen with the Stanley Cup and stuff like that.
Well, they went past the first round, so didn't they have a parade?
And they won games in the second round.
Yeah, it's
How much do you hate Brad Marchand?
he would be the only person I would be happy to see injured for the rest of his career in all
Can't
of
say stuff like
sports.
that.
Well, you asked me, right? And it's the truth.
Before we get in the show, let's talk about all those comments we got because our millions of viewers left millions of comments, so that makes me happy. I think Brady did it first, but love the thumbs up. We'll make sure to say nicer things about you. And then I think Quentin did it second. I think he followed and he sent a different colored thumbs up. So we appreciate you guys listening. Thanks to Nick Cloutier for the kind words. Uh, I know you answered most of them, but or liked them, but I was gonna, but then I figured, oh, let me just to go over it on the show.
Mm.
Remember when we spoke about Witching Hour? How who played Witching Hour last week, and we said it's actually
Iron Trollers?
was it Iron Trollers?
Well, like this week that just passed?
No, the week before when we covered on the show and we gave them kudos because they only lost by 1 point to Witching Hour.
Uh,
And then I brought the fact that like barely anyone has ever. Oh yeah, Drama Club beat Witching Hour, and then we had said that it must have been Witching Hour's first loss ever,
mm,
and that they ever had a close game. Because then Ana Lucia mentioned that Witching Hour only beat like her. The flex was that Witching Hour only beat Nomad by 5 points last year. But I want to look that up because she mentioned I ref the game, and I remember refing the game, but they were missing their quarterback, so and their best receiver in Vincent Marotte, and then the second best receiver Tristan was playing quarterback. So they're technically missing their two best receivers and their quarterback. Although Tristan's a stud at quarterback,
mm.
still like not something to gloat about, right?
Yeah, look, you got it. Next man up mentality.
Then Ghislain said we made some great bold predictions, or that they were very bold, and he would appreciate you calling him Ghislain, not Quentin's dad.
Who's that? Quentin's dad?
Yeah.
Okay, I saw him and I made a joke and he was nice about it. But yes,
Yeah.
fair enough.
What was the joke?
I said, "Yo, what's up, Quentin's dad?" And he started laughing. I was just like, "Good stuff." I will talk about their game. They actually had a bit of a comeback.
Did they come back?
They were down by a lot and lost by a little.
Okay. Well, they made a quarterback change, right?
They did.
Guillaume said he stopped punting, and he actually did stop punting. I refed one of his games, and he really, really, really wanted me to know that he was not punting. I didn't ask, but he really wanted me to know. Even though a lot of players were encouraging him to continue punting, I think they appreciate the punts. Uh, Yeah, you got some beef with your boy Chris.
Oh, about when they beat Double Divers?
Yeah, his comment there.
Wow, about beef, bro. That's Christian love. Come on, now don't be silly. Don't try and stir the pot.
Yeah, I didn't take it negative what you said though. I didn't think it was really that negative. You were, but maybe now we will be down on Phoenix after the way they played this week.
Let's just say they didn't play their best game this week.
And then a very heartfelt message by JF that we really appreciate. Could be kind of like a poster for like MFL feedback.
For real, like that was really really nice of him. Like I said in the comment, right? We were just saying, the truth. I don't think we were looking for like kudos or anything. He's really evolved as a player, but it's comments like that and players like him that make the MFL great. So definitely really appreciate his input.
Yeah, and Yavar made me laugh. He said you learn how technology works because of the league, which is true. Because I remember at the beginning he'd always ask me questions like, "Oh, the subsystem, it's not working. The emails, like, how does it work? Like all these questions." And now he's a master. He's captaining a bunch of teams. He knows how the subs work. He's subbing on teams without asking me any more questions. Emails are going great. So like we helped him become more tech savvy now. He could add that to his CV if he's looking for another job.
Poster boy of the MFL.
Also want to shout out Pat O'Reilly. It was pouring rain, and he was there with his camera wrapped in plastic, taking beautiful pictures. Like you see the day, like you were out all day, right? You were there literally all day. You saw how ugly of a day it was, and I don't understand how beautiful his pictures turned out. Like
It's no, it's pretty. It's almost like it was photoshopped, or it doesn't make sense. Like it was like clear skies, doves flying in the air. Meanwhile, it was thunderstorms, torrential rain, hail.
you saw the pictures, right?
Yeah, I did. I did. They
Like
were sick as per
stunning.
usual.
Uh,
And he gave us a Gatorade each.
oh yeah. Oh man,
And by the way, we forgot. We didn't forget to throw it out. We forgot to finish it.
I finished mine. There was like this much left.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I meant.
Did you drink yours?
Yeah, yeah, of course. I finished my I had to.
That came in clutch.
Yeah, for reals.
Anything else before we start the show?
Well, a few people mentioned that they enjoyed the podcast, which I definitely appreciate, and thanks for tuning in. And we'll try and get better every week.
Yeah, the millions of viewers that we have.
So yeah, I'd say quite a few more than that.
Going on billions soon.
Yeah, come on. I thought we reached that already.
Uh, what division you want to start with?
Let's go. Let's go Div 4.
You want to start with that game about Quinton's dad?
Oh yeah, good call. Yeah, good call. So this was when the rain was really pouring down. I don't know if you saw. Did you see Mustard Tigers bring like a massive tent?
Yeah, they had it for a few weeks now.
It was crazy. They had a tent. It said like Mustard Tigers Inc. and it was like all that cool stuff. And I think it was from their company. But I don't know if I'm making that up. But I'm pretty sure
The
somebody
Mustard
said that.
Tigers company, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's what I
Let's see.
understood.
What did they do?
What do they do?
What does the Mustard Tigers company do?
Oh, I think they just sell mustard and they have like a tiger on their logo, but it's like quality mustard. So yeah, so they brought in like the tent and it was like kept us dry for the most part. This game it was absolutely pouring. First story of the game, I believe, was picked as Gislain Duke threw pick on the
Who
first play of
threw?
the game. Gislain, not Quinton's dad. It was a pick six by our boy Victor Davis, who is now continuing to put his name on the defensive, one of the defensive studs of MFL. So it was a pick six on the first play. Nothing was really working in this game for the underdogs. I actually went to get lunch, go for a little walk, and I came back and I saw that the score was 32-19. And like you mentioned, Quinton ended up quarterbacking in this game, going 9 of 13, 144 yards for the 3 touchdowns. So I wonder if there's going to be a quarterback change made there. Brian Mustard having a clean game. The yards won't necessarily impress you, but it was pouring rain. 4 touchdowns, no picks, and I think the no picks is just the big thing, like you always mention, especially in that weather. And I believe it was Mustard Tiger's first game of the season, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so
So
too.
yeah, so impressive performance by them. But I think going forward, the bigger question is for underdogs. What do they do? Because of course Quinton, their best receiver, now putting him at the quarterback position, they lose that. I guess Gislain could also potentially play receiver for them. But a nice little comeback there by the underdogs, and I'm curious to see what they do next week.
Yeah, so obviously when you're throwing as many passes to the other team as to your own team, it's not a good recipe for success. Um, You're trying to tell me he tried to practice this week playing Madden. Maybe it was a level a tad bit too hard for him. But
That does help though. Madden, it really helps you see your reads.
what was I gonna say? Yeah. So Quinton has a great stat line. He's a great athlete, but he came into this game with Munster Tiger being up 20-0 already. How much of this is Munster Tigers playing relaxed, like let's give the kid a chance, kind of thing, or actually like going hard as they were going hard as soon as the game started?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't think Mustard Tigers are the type of team to take their foot off the pedal. Especially like the game was raining. It's not like how could I say, when even if you're giving up a free 5 yard hook to underdogs, the 5 yard hook isn't guaranteed, when it's pouring rain. So I think it's even more impressive that they were able to move the ball in that weather. So no, I think it was just Quinton. Unfortunately, I didn't see him make any of his throws, but probably reading the field very well. And I think Mustard Tigers play like it's 0-0 throughout because they're a very veteran and experienced team.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
But impressive, they won the second half.
Any other D4 games you saw?
Let's see. Lebushileva was a tight one. Uh, I ref Spartans nothing but D. Did I? Yes, I did.
Yeah, I was there for the first half too.
Yeah, I ref that game. Defensive affair. Shout out to the big Dolphins fan on nothing but D. Throwing that fin up during the game. That was mad respect.
It's Bowser.
Yeah, yeah, good. A really guy, good player too. A lot of energy. He's slowly become one of my favorite players. So this was 6-6 going into overtime. And I think I ref this game with OE. And definitely a defensive affair. Look, it's tough. When it's raining, you kind of give the quarterbacks a bit of slack. But JF completing 8 of his passes, and still getting the win, getting 2 really nice interceptions. One of them he undercut, kind of flew out of nowhere, put on his Superman cape. But I think that these are two of going to be the one of the top tier teams in the division. Nothing but D showing how great they are defensively. A few drops, right, to be expected in this game. And I'd prefer a low scoring, close game than a blowout any day of the week. So even though there weren't many points in this game, I think there was still some nice plays being made. And yeah, nothing but D. Their second straight loss. Usually one of the great teams, but losing to 2 good teams, right? Mustard Tigers on the 10th, and then this past weekend losing to Spartans. So not worried about nothing but D. I think that they'll win this upcoming week against underdogs.
Regardless who's a quarterback for underdogs.
Yeah, I think nothing but D is going to be strong on the defense.
And looking at the standings here, we see, oh yeah, the Bandits, they play this. I think they didn't play this week, but even though they didn't play, I think we got to talk about them a little bit here because Matt, first time quarterback, right? Bandits have been in the MFL for quite some time now. Same core, great group of guys. But Matt has been taking the quarterback reins. His stat line isn't that pretty to start the season: 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. But he is undefeated, sitting at 2-0, and he was also undefeated when he played for the Bandits in the winter season. Only played a few games before the dome died over there, but I believe he's got 4 or 5 wins. So he's playing on a 6 or 7 game win streak right now. To start the season, kind of like who was that quarterback for the 49ers that started off like undefeated for like a bunch of games? Was it Garoppolo when he first started playing for them, or was it Purdy?
We should ask Barbara, but I
Yeah,
think it was, well, no, Purdy did. He came in his first game against the Dolphins, and we're like, oh, this guy's Mr. Irrelevant, and he lit us up. Mm,
yeah. So like
yeah.
he gets the job done. He even won the first MFL Underground tournament, right? Not losing a game there either. So that team to watch out for. But looking at the standings, even though underdogs are 0-2 to start, um, I really think any team can still make the playoffs. It's way too early to count anyone out at this point, and it's looking like a very competitive division.
Do we know what happened with? Okay, so it looks like it's a tie in that creaky knees underdogs game.
It's not. We haven't decided yet what's
Okay,
happening with that.
okay. Still early on in the season. It shouldn't affect teams that much. But you don't want to fall to an 0-3 hole, that's for sure, or 0-2.
Yeah. So what division you want to go to next?
Let's go Div 2.
So Div 2, bright and early, we had the game of the week, Phoenix, the undefeated Phoenix against the winless Nice TDs. Would you have been able to tell uh, which team had the donut in the record? Um, I joked to Chris after, I'm like, was I stressing you? Like, we only had good things to say about you on the podcast, and I'm refing your game now. You feel the pressure to do well? Uh, Look, as bad as it looked, it's really hard to fault Chris for this one. I think the first 7 passes, at least 6 were on the money, and the receivers just couldn't come down with them. So yeah, the first 6 passes of the game were incompletions, and at least 5 out of the 6 were like literally perfect throws that the receiver just couldn't come down with it. And I don't think it was raining at that point in the game. Nick Husey actually joked with me after the game. He's like, if my dad's getting more catches and more yards than me, there's a problem. Um, that's enough Phoenix talk. If you look at the nice CDs, completion, the first completion was a 45-yard touchdown. Second completion was a 45-yard touchdown. Third completion was a 45-yard touchdown. Yeah, I thought it was 4, but I guess it was just 3. So yeah, the first three completions of the game, Guillaume threw 3 45-yard touchdowns, and they weren't all 45 bombs. I think at least 2 of Andrew's touchdowns were like a 10-yard hook, curl, in, out type of route that he did, where I don't know how, obviously miscommunication on Phoenix's defense or not understanding the assignment properly, he was wide open. Like, there was not someone within 10 yards of him on 2 of his 3 touchdowns. Like, literally, not within 10 yards. And then, obviously, when that happens, it's not that difficult for Andrew to take it to the house. A bit too much chit chat over here from both teams, but mainly from one. But yeah, Andrew doing Andrew things. Guillaume having a nearly perfect game, 16 for 24, 249, 6 tutties, 0 interceptions, 4 out of 6 converts are successful. It helps when you don't punt. You could definitely score more points when you don't punt.
And
Um,
Phoenix punted on their first possession, so this game was over before it started.
but great 1-2 punch here with Andrew and Damien. Even Jean-Pierre Bebeuf putting in some work on offense there. This nice city's team, it's really difficult to understand how they started 0-2. Looks like a very, very complete team. I didn't even mention Joshua Hernandez, who didn't get much work on offense, but is still a stellar player. Yeah, very, very one-sided affair over here. But clearly, I don't know if Phoenix had the game plan prepared or if they were focusing on the wrong player. But leaving Andrew in the mid-tier level wide open like that is not going to help you win many games.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I get the idea of wanting to give Andrew cushion because he could beat you for a 45-yard bomb. But that doesn't. I didn't see any of this game. That doesn't mean play prevent defense, right? And I think the stat line that's incredible is Guillaume, right? 16 completions, 249 yards, almost good for 16 yards of completion. And I think you said a good point here. They got a solid wide receiver too in Damian Bala. I think that now you have 2 wide receivers that can take the top off of defenses. Maybe what this team was missing in seasons past. Um,
Yeah, you
Look,
don't want to get that little possession receiver that just runs 5-yard hooks at Guillaume. He wants the guy that could take the top off the defense, like you just said.
oh yeah, no, he doesn't throw the ball under 10 yards. It could be 4th and 1, and he's taking a
Well,
deep shot.
it's funny you mentioned that. I was actually joking with Phoenix at halftime. Like, why don't you guys play cover 5? Like, literally line up 5 guys at 15 yards. Like, force them to throw a 5-yard hook or a 10-yard hook even. At least you'll tackle them and they won't score on one play. Like, they're literally scoring at halftime. Like, I think half the throws were touchdowns. Like, literally, Nike's barely played any offense. So I was like, forgot who I was speaking to on the sideline. I'm like, what's gonna happen if you guys get beat over top? Then it's a little ridiculous. Um, but honestly, like play cover 4, play cover 5, like literally force him to throw like a slant or a hook or a short in route, something like that. You guys will hopefully get the tackle.
That's the thing. At this point, you can play cover 6, where I don't think the rusher really matters either because Guillaume gets rid of the ball so quickly. But I think for me, I'm a little bit more concerned with Phoenix on the defensive side of the ball. I know, look, scoring 7 points, nobody's going to be able to win putting up only 7 points. The drop balls, okay, they happen. It wasn't raining, but the conditions weren't great. To see giving up 46 points, I know this is arguably a Division 1 offense in nice TDs, but when you have solid defenders, right, like Chris, obviously defender himself, a D1 player. Josh, a D1 player himself. JF on that team. Obviously, we didn't talk much about Baby Kuse. He wanted that smoke from Andrew, and Andrew gave it to him to say the least. But look, 2-1 start for Phoenix. I think this is they got a few weeks off now on a bye. They're gonna have a big game against the Rejects because I think that maybe this will be the best time for them to have a bye, regroup. But this is not a team that can really come back if they go 2-2, 2-3. If I'm Phoenix, I don't want to go in a hole early on in the season.
Yeah, agreed. And like speaking of their defense, it's kind of shocking because they only gave up 26 points through 2 games. They gave up more points, more touchdowns. They probably even more yards in this one game than the two first games combined.
It's look. If they started the season, if I tell you they started off 2-1, I think they would take it.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah, definitely agreed.
not the end of the world.
Catch any of the Ducks Double Dippers game?
No, that one I did not. One-sided affair. I love the ball distribution in this game, though.
By both quarterbacks.
Yep.
Yeah, agreed on that. Do we move on to next division?
I'll just talk quickly about CIA Fusion, average jokes. I
I
ref
was
that
kidding.
game.
I wanted to see if you catch on because
Oh, come on,
a
man.
few
But
of
you
those
know I ain't no rookie. You
a
know I
few of
ain't no
those
rookie.
CIAers were saying we haven't been talking about them very much, and I think both of us had the same reply. When you score 0 points, not much to talk about. But hey, gotta give them credit. They scored 18 here. So I think you were actually on this game.
Yeah, I ref this game. I ref this guy. I heard it was a very well refed game. So in this game, there was a lot of stuff that happened.
You weren't just scorekeeping,
Was it Corley? I heard her name.
but you didn't ref it. You were
Oh,
scorekeeping.
screw it. Yeah, it was scorekeeping, but
That's why it was well refed.
yeah, it was well ref. But I helped the refs when they asked me a question here and there. But also shout out, it was Corley.
Yeah.
Shout out, she did a really good job at scorekeeping. She took over in the second half. But yeah, it's funny. Jason Armonti looked at me after Jason Edwards got his fourth pick, and he was like, "This has to be Player of the Week." And I was like, 4 picks is a lot. I think he did, and all 4 interceptions of his were him baiting the quarterback. It wasn't necessarily a bad throw from Saplitsky. It was more Edwards making an Edwards type play. But Jason in this game nearly perfect, 24 of 33, 234 yards, 6 touchdowns to the 1 pick. Jason, 3 touchdowns along with those 4 interceptions. Stanley getting a few sacks himself and being a deep threat.
Four sacks.
Yeah, 4 sacks. This was
Not the
it was just
man.
yeah, it was a great game on both sides of the ball for average Joes. I think this is a team we need to give a little bit more respect to. We talk about the top teams in Div 2, and I think like average Joes aren't necessarily mentioned as much as they should be. I think they're 3-0 right now. But for CIA, they just dug themselves in a hole too deep. They were down at halftime, and average Joes are not a team with that stout defense that's going to give up a lead. Yeah, it was 18-6 at half. Quarterback change made. Jason came in and was throwing dimes, 7 of 12, a pick, but also 2 TDs. You wonder, we talk about maybe a quarterback change for underdogs. Does CIA consider it here? If you put Jason at quarterback, Alex going from quarterback to receiver, we know he's going to be one of the elite receivers in this division. This team may be more dangerous if that's the case for CIA Fusion. So I think something they need to strongly
Even though you
consider.
moved the dual threatness of the quarterback position that they have with Alex.
Yeah, he has his legs for sure, but I think that like he's more dangerous with the ball in his hands at receiver than he is at quarterback, right? Like
Yeah.
for example, like it's hard to evade a guy like Stanley, right? So if Alex has the ball at quarterback, he's going to maybe break him a few times, but Stanley will probably win most of those matchups. So look, I think getting Alex playing wide receiver and Jason playing quarterback, that's going to be a tough duo to stop. And you have Connor, you have Cooper, you have Kayla, obviously that always puts up numbers. So
Not bad advice there, Sir Power. But you know who I blame for Jason's interception here?
Jason.
No, Alex. Alex threw Jason the ball so many times that Jason came in at quarterback, and he was sure that Jason Edwards was on his team.
That's fair. That's where it's a Jason to Jason to Jason. Man, there's a Jason Bowl here.
Let's go to the women's division next. Where speaking of Kayla, made that gorgeous one-handed catch um, that Pat O'Reilly even got a picture of.
It's funny when one of the fans from Nothing But D come up and say to Kayla, "I don't think I've ever seen you drop a ball in your life," and she blushed
Really?
and said, "Thank you." Yep.
Did she act all humble or
Yeah, she did. She said, "Thank you very much." Like she wasn't in a great mood because they were getting crushed at the time by average Joes. But yeah, she was very happy about that. A really nice comment.
Yeah, he should come see me because I have a few stories for him. Just kidding, Kayla. So did you catch any of this game?
No, I did. Was this game at? Was there any games at Tyrion?
Yeah, there were games at Terry,
Yeah, this
but I
one.
believe this one was at Darcy.
Okay, no, actually, I didn't. I didn't catch any of this game.
So John McQueen's not their quarterback again. Isabella wasn't there. Roxanne filled in greatly. I think she started the game at quarterback. Um, yeah. So she started the game at quarterback, 14 to 17, 127, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. She probably said, "Okay, I'm done. I want to catch some footballs too now." Scoring a touchdown reception as well. I wonder if getting some of this football in made her miss the quarterback position, or if she's more like you, that even though she has so much success at quarterback, prefers to play receiver over quarterback at all times.
Something about playing receiver, man, just can't beat it.
Maybe you should watch the women's play next week, or I think they're on a bye week, but the week after, because I think they could really benefit from some of your advice and pointers. Um, they look like they're still having fun through those pictures that we saw. They did get us Sabrina Thomas, big interception there. That's always nice. The Sabrina Morgan trifecta on offense. But this game was all drama queens, right? And it's shaping out to be a drama queens crazy bees finals preview. Great ball distribution by all the quarterbacks. Not much to say there. But if you can offer any advice to Supernova, who actually good job for having a team name, a team logo before many other free agent teams. So props to you for that.
Look, I mean, it's tough. You have a two-way player like Kayla that gets three touchdowns in this game and 4 picks. You're playing good competition here, right? So it's you want to take it week by week and try and improve. And like you said, I'm curious to watch some of the games because I haven't caught many, if any, of them this season. You try and keep things simple, right? I think like a lot of it is you have 4 or 5 go-to plays. You switch to the left, switch to the right. Once you get too much involved in your playbook and try and overcomplicate things, it could get a little bit difficult on the offensive side of the ball. But I think it's just going to be a matter of repetition, a matter of building chemistry with their teammates, and I'm maybe a less man defense or woman defense on if they're playing
Person
defense.
defense, person defense.
Yeah, person defense, true person defense. I'm not sure what type of defenses they're playing, but against a team like Drama Queens, you probably want to be playing zone. So yeah, only up from here for Supernova, and we'll see how they bounce back.
Yeah. No, definitely. Well said for sure. I even asked them why the capital N in Supernova, and they said that's because we're super novice. So they're aware of it. They're only gonna get better. Like one of the reassuring things I have to say to them is that a lot of the teams started where they're at now, so it's only up from here. Even though it doesn't seem like it now, and the scoreboard might not be showing it, you are improving a little bit every week just by being out there. A lot of them had played zero flag football games at the beginning of the season. Every game that goes by, that's one additional game that you're playing. So it's a little more experience underneath the belt. And hopefully, maybe they could pull it out a surprising win before the end of the season.
I think it's coming. I think it's coming.
What division you want to go to next?
Let's go. Let's go Div 5.
So we said Division 5. See any of the games here? Hello?
Can you scroll to the right?
Okay, I'll start then. I saw a bit of this one. It wasn't pretty, but the Orphans, a well-oiled machine at this point, facing off against a free agent team who it was the first game of the season, and the replacement quarterback, who can't really fault because he was doing them a huge favor coming from the South Shore, getting a lot of traffic, arrived late. So it wasn't really a recipe for success. But there were a lot of highlights in this game. Um, I gotta say, Ojavi Els, 8 catches for 91 yards, also getting 2 picks on defense. Stud player. Um, and on the other side of the ball, I gotta say, like almost everyone that touched the ball, whether it was Cheik, Ibra, Diego, Idris, Morgan, all great players. I believe it was Idris Speedy Gonzalez. Was he the one rushing? Yeah, he was the one rushing. He got a sack, 5 interceptions, 3 pick sixes. Um, Super talented player. Um, yeah, lots of speed.
That stat line is ridiculous.
Yeah. So you're asking me to scroll. Did you see any of the games there?
Yeah, I saw a bit of Wong Dynasty Spartans. Our buddy Francesco Calabrese, I think, was his first time playing D5, made his presence felt. He actually got 2 touchdowns in this game. I know it says said he got one, but he got the first two touchdowns. Last play of the first half, a bomb from JF to Francesco, a nice head tap touchdown there. Catching it over a few defenders. So Spartans are going to be good. They're going to be great offensively, great defensively. A little bit surprised in the Terry Wong dynasty in their two games this past Saturday, putting up a total of 6 points. You have guys on this team that are pretty experienced. Ryan Wong being one of them. What are your thoughts on that? A little bit worried, or it's too early in the season to kind of read into that?
No, whenever you put up 0 points, it's definitely cause for concern. They did play the Titans the first game, the Spartans the second game. Two very good teams, but not to say that they couldn't win those games or be within like more of a striking distance in those games. Like you said, they have a plethora of experience on those teams. Like Tyler's on that team, who's also playing Division One, right? Like just his experience, his football knowledge has to bring something to the game. Tyler's been playing with great quarterbacks in the NFL quite some time now. There must be some things that could translate to Ryan's game to help him. Jacob, Leo, these are names of guys that played that have been playing on Munster Tigers and other teams for quite some time. So it is very, very surprising to me that forget about the last two games, through three full games, talking three full MFL games that tend to last long, only scoring 12 points. I think it's time to go back to the drawing board, take that playbook and start it from scratch. Whatever plays you are doing, never do them again, and start with a few easy and simple ones, like all hooks. If that was a part of your, if that was already part of your playbook, make the hook shorter because it means your receivers are running them too long if you're not getting any success with that play. Because in Division 5, for the very least, the players either play man or if they play any type of zone, you can tell the punt returners are technically the two safeties on that defense. So, look, I mean, I know a bunch of guys on that team and they all have experience, but if Ryan, you need a few go-to plays that are very simple that I could guarantee work probably more often than not, um, reach out to us, reach out to Will, reach out to myself. Not that we're any football guru or anything like that, but like we know a few things that could help. It might not, but I really don't think it can make things worse offensively than what they are. The one bright spot is that like they're giving up 17 points a game on average. So if they only score 3 touchdowns a game, they should be winning more games than not. Because that's a good defense they got right there. And like if they played last fall, so they do have a season under their belt, and it wasn't the prettiest season, but I don't remember being this bad, right? They were 500 team. They scored 150 points. They were averaging 15 points a game. Got to go up, not down. So yeah, that's what I got to say.
Yeah, point spread in the Slicks Wong Dynasty game coming up this weekend.
Okay,
I got a number.
if they write to us, it'll be I'll say 19 and a half. If they don't write to us, I'm gonna go with 29 and a half because that Slicks team is for real and they're putting up numbers.
Yeah, either way, I'm gonna go 32 and a half, and I say Slicks cover.
Yeah, so like Slicks, dart throwers, and smokers, we'll talk about them soon. But both of them putting up really impressive numbers. Let's start with the Slicks. 65 points for, 6 points against through 2 games. Division 5 runner-ups. They haven't lost many games in the past 2 seasons, Division 5. Whether it's Luca or Guillaume at quarterback, they really like a well-oiled machine at this point, right? They don't have a big roster, but everyone knows their role on this team. Pirat has been there for a few seasons now, leading the way with 3 touchdowns. Simon Labbe, new addition here, 3 touchdowns in one game for them. On the defense side of the ball, you got Guillaume with 4 picks, Lucas with 4 sacks. This is a really, really strong team. They did face Wolverines and Improbable, who are not, I wouldn't say they're the weakest teams in the division either, right? Um, Going up against Wong Dynasty might not be a big test. They might have to wait till mid-June, week 7, to see their first real test start, and they're going to face Phoenix and then Dart Throwers and Smokers. So that's really when we'll see what they're actually made of, and if it's a. But honestly, I know the Dart Throwers and Smokers, and there's Phoenix in the division as well. Pick Sixers who are also undefeated, but this season, just like last season, seems like championship or bust for Slicks.
I totally agree. They have the talent, the experience, and the defense, obviously, to lead them to a championship. Two very strong performances, and you talked about there are other great teams in this division. They're definitely top tier. Those Slicks are, and I think it's championship or bust.
You remember who this team started out off as, eh?
Oh, was the weird logo?
Yeah, the
Yeah, with
disturbing logo, I'd say. Disturbing is the
yeah,
correct
yeah,
word.
disturbing, more like it.
Yeah, so dart throwers and smokers. Name's a tad bit too long. Like maybe just dart throwers or smokers or DTS. DTS sounds like a great name. Um, but I think I'll just be calling you dart throwers from now on because the end smokers is just too long. Putting up 40 burgers in their past two games against Mimosa Crew and Titans. 40 points in the rain is pretty impressive. Um, See here, you got quarterback Matthew with a 15 to 3 touchdown to interception ratio, which is insane. Averaging a pick per game or less in Division 5 is phenomenal. Even getting 10 points off, sorry, 12 total points off of converts there on 15 total touchdowns. That's a very great ratio to have. Not that they've been in any tight games right now, but if ever they will be, that's definitely something that could make a difference. Um, and on the defense side of the ball, you got Yanni with 5 sacks. And everyone's eating on defense pick wise, right? You got a bunch of guys with 1 interception. Van Dad leading the way with 2 and 4 PDs. But this, I haven't seen them play yet. I'm looking forward to it. But they seem like a dangerous team. It's going to be a great game against the Orphans, who also have a firepower and a hot offense, scoring coming off a 62-point performance. This has to be like a semifinal preview, I'd say. Coming up in this Division 5 playoffs.
I was looking at the schedule for this upcoming week, and dart throwers and smokers against the Orphans has to be the game of the week throughout all divisions. Looking forward to this one. Delavandine, no playing at that time, so hopefully I'll be able to. My game ends early, I can catch some of that. But Orphans coming off a 62-point performance, and then you have dart throwers and smokers 3-0. This has game of the week written all over it. I'm expecting some fireworks.
Oh yeah, some darts thrown and some smoke happening.
Definitely a good one.
Not my best. What division we go to next?
Let's go. Let's go Div 1.
So I saw both Div 1 games. I think you saw the first one with me, right?
Yeah, we're very close.
Not close enough, so I'm still getting very wet.
But that's true.
What do you got to say?
Well, first thing, I mean, I know it's really ridiculous and random, but I feel like this. I mean, I think I did okay with the stats in this game, but didn't you feel like Brady completed most of his passes? Like I know there was a lot of drops, but you watched the game and I saw he went 16 of 37. It was
Yeah,
kind of
I
weird
mean
because I
not
feel he
not
had a
most because there were quite a few times where he was like the team was joking around about like not catching the ball even though it was raining like they're being like hard joking on themselves. Like I remember a few jabs here and there across a few different players. But I definitely thought he did complete more than 16 to 37. Yeah.
yeah, like I feel he had a picture perfect game, but yes, it was raining and we talked about all the drops during the game. To be expected. Look, we talked. I think
Are you hating on Brady? This
no,
say,
it's the
you
opposite. I would say
wanted to
it's the
point
opposite.
out the way his inefficient completion percentage
No,
because
no, it's actually the
to
complete
me,
opposite. Like I
I,
felt he had a really good game, and obviously he did because they
completion
won
or
the
not,
game.
every second throw, I feel I was turning. I'm like, how the hell can you throw like that in the rain?
Yeah, I
Like,
know it
like
didn't make
it's as if he
sense.
was throwing a Nerf ball, but he throws that NFL ball, which is like bigger than the average size football. The guy has massive hands, which obviously helps. But every throw, like whether it was completed or not, I was like, how does it go so deep with the ball being so wet? Like, like they had the worst time slot to play in. Like out of the whole day, I think in MFL history, this was the worst slot to play in.
I think that's well said. And we joked about it after Joey Notaro's pick. Idaho and this offense started at the Villains 2 yard line, and I was surprised Brady didn't take three straight sacks to go to midfield
Yeah,
and have to throw a 30-yard bomb on
yeah.
fourth down.
I'm like,
But
villains
no,
have them right where they want them.
exactly. Almost on purpose. But we talked early in this game, Terry, and we said, the villains look like they belong early on, right? I know it was the final score doesn't really indicate that. They lost by 26, but like it was 20, it was 14 nothing, then 14-6, then 20-6, then 20-12. So they're within striking distance
It was
early in
also
that second.
14-6 with villains having ball.
Wait, well said. Well, exactly. Nice pick by I think it was Sam in the back of the end
Oh
zone. One
yeah, Great
one-handed
pick by Sam.
interception there to keep them within striking distance. Look, the villains. It's obviously they're still winless. They do have the talent to compete in this division. Maybe it's just no matter of building that chemistry in Division One. These are guys that have been playing together forever, right? Other teams in Division One, and you can make the case Idaho has the best roster in this division. A lot of new guys. Sam, not really known in the MFL. Joey, not playing that much in the NFL. In the MFL now playing on two teams. So this Idaho team is great. I think the villains will end up getting it done. I don't see them going winless for the rest of the season,
Of course
but
not.
Idaho makes a statement early, which we kind of expected.
Yeah, some words of advice for the villains, or more specifically, the quarterback who has the same name as you, Will Bradford.
Um, look, I think in this game there was a lot of drops. I love his mobility. I think that you don't want to necessarily be a run first quarterback because you want to be able to to throw to get your receivers open. But he has the ability to take off and run, right? And, sometimes if nothing's open, take off, get those 3-4 yards. I know it's not that pretty, but you keep the chains moving. You avoid throwing interceptions if nothing is there. Yeah, I think for Will, he's athletic, so start using that
Yeah,
athleticism.
I was gonna say it's very impressive how he could throw so well on the run, and I was also gonna recommend not be like obviously he wants to throw the ball. He's a quarterback, right? But not to be shy to take off and run. He's a great athlete all around, and he definitely could belong in Division One, right? He has the arm for it, but he's been so used to playing in the lower divisions that like the speed of the game is just you need to adapt, right? It's gonna take a few games to adapt to that. Like those deep balls in lower divisions, you can let them float a little bit and your guys are going to come out on top. Whereas now you got to be a little more precise, put a little bit more of oomph on that pass. But I know he's capable because I've seen him do it. Um, but yeah, don't be shy to take off and run. And I love how they mix both him and Jeremy in. But another thing is that maybe do it a little more where Jeremy drops back instead of necessarily taking the snap. A lot of the times where Jeremy's under center, it's maybe more predictable to be a run play. So try to mix it up a little bit more because Will's also a great receiver, a great all around athlete. Like you've seen him ball out on, doesn't play much defense here, but I've seen him ball out on defense as well. Um, and I feel that double quarterback plays work very, very well in general in flag football. When you got two quarterbacks like Will and Jeremy, why not use them both a little bit more and just throw off the defenses a bit more, right? You could get it super creative with that, but definitely I could see by the end of the season Will being one of those very good D1 quarterbacks. Obviously, this game doesn't really help that it was in the rain. I think we could just scrap it, forget about it. But there was some good in this game as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think that just to add on your double quarterback, I think when teams aren't expecting it, it makes it that much more effective. On converts, a lot of teams drop back a second guy, but if it's 2nd and 5 or in the middle of the field, dropping back Jeremy could be beneficial since the defense is not really expecting that.
Yeah. Les Ranceurs, the unit. Um, Obviously, the unit win this game, but the story of this game for me has to be Nicolas Boucher for Les Ranceurs. I swear I looked at his stat line and I was shocked because to me, he had like a near perfect game. He was all over the place, whether it was running, throwing. I don't know if he's ever played quarterback before, but I know they were looking for a quarterback like up until the last second before this game. And at the end, they said, fuck it, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna play quarterback this game. And it looked like he's been playing quarterback for like quite a few seasons. He scored at least two 45 bombs. Um, well, 41 bomb here to Eric. Another 41 bomb here to Jean Baptiste.
That one was sick. Sorry to cut you off. I saw that one live, and it was a dart, and Jean Baptiste just ran under it, and yeah, they were hyped.
Like on the money. He even threw a 40 bomb to Giovanni that I think he got tackled at the 1 yard line. Um, so definitely a gunslinger, a very accurate one as well. Completely different offenses we had going on here. Um, a very funny start of the game as well for Unit. Started off with James Colley making a catch with no flag belt, penalty there. Then Andrew going offside, penalty there. So we were like literally on the 1 yard line or like 1.5 or 1.25 yard line before the unit gets their first official good snap on. But this game was a lot closer than the score indicates. You look at the scoring summary here. It was 20-19 at half. Les Ranceurs punching it in right before halftime, and then it was still back and forth up until maybe close to midway through the second half. Owe getting hitting Rooney for 5 yards. but Les Ranseurs just following that with a touchdown of their own to make it within one score. Then a huge interception by James Collier, where I think he actually started celebrating before he picked it off. That changed the game. Like that was your TSN turning point. Like, I know how you like to say it. It happened.
And that's the
Yeah,
thing,
so
right?
right over here. So like, um, it was one score game. Unit get the score, get the touchdown, get the much needed 2 point convert there to make it a 9 point game. And on the following drive, James Colley gets that interception just to not really seal it at that point, but after that, like you saw the Gonçaro, the motivation changed. Instead of trying to score points, they were trying to argue with the refs a little more. Um, and the unit just took care of business from that point. But like I swear, like at halftime and up until that interception, it could have went either way. Nicolas Boucher is a baller. He could be a threat at receiver as well. It'll be interesting to see what they're going to do. I think pretty sure Fred Junot is going to stay the quarterback, but literally respect for the way Nicolas Boucher conducted himself at the quarterback position in this game. Always filling in great as a sub. Doesn't even look like he hasn't played in a few seasons in the MFL. 285, 6 touchdowns, 1 pick, 3 2 point converts there. Great ball distribution. Look at that. Like you have Andrew, Dylan, Jeremy with at least 7 catches each, all with 2 touchdowns. Not a mistake. Owie actually caught his own pass. So that was the other thing that how the game started. That was really funny. After those first two penalties, the first completion was OE to OE as the rusher batted it up in the air and OE caught it and took off and ran for 5 yards. So very very strange start to the game for the unit. I think this was their first win of the season, right?
I think so. Did Nams get a pick six in this game from the rusher position?
Yes. Did you see it?
I saw the end of it. Like I saw always slip, and then I saw him have the ball in his hands, and then
How'd you know he was
um,
rushing then?
sorry,
How'd you know he was rushing?
just the kind of the way it happened. Like it didn't look like he undercut anything.
Yeah,
I guess it
thanks for
was
pointing that out. I completely forgot to mention it. That was sick.
yeah.
Giovanni getting a sick pick one, and then Eric getting that. Well, like just I wish someone was filming that play to see it in slow motion because always slipped. He was about to go to the ground, and he did such a sick Patrick Mahomes type pass behind his back. I'm like, wow, how did he get that off? Like crazy play. And I'm like, maybe not so crazy because Eric made a sick catch, like going out of his way to catch that ball, and then obviously there's no one that's catching Eric at that point, running it literally the full field for that pick six. But yeah, thanks for pointing it out. I was gonna forget to mention it. That was a great play by Eric. Very funny play by Owie. But that's where you just want to take your loss, right? Like just take the sack, flip and fall. Like live to see another down. But yeah,
Yeah, crazy plays made in this game.
so we have a unit playing the Outlaws this coming Saturday. Last time they played, it wasn't that close. 20 point game. Who do you got in this one?
I think you got to assume Vinny's going to be back in this one. I'm going to say that this one goes to overtime and Outlaws win 40 to 38. 38-38, Outlaws go for two, they get it. You have a chance to tie. They don't. Mm, early on in the season, I think it's there's how many teams here? It's 9 or 8.
8.
Eight teams, 5 of them make the playoffs, right? So Outlaws a 3-0 start. A bigger game here for the unit. So not obviously must win there. You have 3 teams that are behind them. This should be a good game. I expect a much closer game though than the when they first face off against each other.
Yeah, hope so. And looking at the other games, you got Idaho Raccoons. Raccoons don't want to dig themselves in a 0-3 hole, so this is a big game for them. And KOLB, Les Ranceurs is going to be a good one too.
They also are looking for a second victory to go 2-2.
What division do you want to go to next?
Did we do? Did we do 3?
I don't think so. It's all that's missing, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you see any of the 3 games?
I saw Witching Hour Orange Trollers. It was the last slot. A defensive affair. A really good game by both defenses. Benjamin Desroches. I'm not sure if Forgot that right. My French is comme ci comme ça. Is a baller. He had a really nice interception in this game in the second half, and he had a play where he got a touchdown. He stole the ball, was going right to Tristan. He's like, "Nah, this ball's mine." He caught it and was in the end zone. A really nice heads up play there made by him. So yeah, a really good player to watch out for. And they got two D1 players, right? The two guys, Tristan and our buddy Vince there on the Iron Wolves. Look, for the Iron Trollers, it's started off pretty well. I think they were up in this game 13 zip.
Oh wow.
And yeah, they're up 13
Literally a tale of two halves, eh?
Preach. It was 13 zip at halftime, and I was like, man, like I was getting ready to come on the podcast and saying, what's wrong with witching hour? They can't score. And look, putting up 14 points is, nothing to write home about, but they did get the win in this one. I just think witching hour were more clutch. When plays needed to be made in this game, they were making the plays, and unfortunately, Iron Wolves weren't. Stat line for both quarterbacks, not the greatest there, but hopefully John's arm is able to hold up. Oh yeah, I also videoed. I recorded the last play of the game, the 1 point convert that the witching hour got. A close call. Tristan caught it. Looked like he was in the end zone, then almost got deflagged and took a step in the end zone. It was kind of a weird play. I'll send it to you, but a close call
Is
there.
that what Kevin was talking about?
Yeah, that was it. It looked live. It looked like it was good. It looked like it was the convert was good. He caught it in the end zone. That's what it looked like. But it was a close call because he may have stepped out of bounds afterwards. But it looked like the right call live.
Were Iron Trolls complaining?
Not really. No. They some veterans there. They respect the refs. I think they talked about it a little bit, but it was fair game.
There were no punts all game, and then both teams punted to end the half, or what? Like,
Yeah, I think look both defenses were playing pretty well. Obviously, that wasn't the right decision because punting is never the right decision. But I guess like both teams were okay going to overtime. Iron Shoulders had let the lead slip away, witching hour were happy they came back. So it ended up being
the
a game
Trollers go
for
for one or
numbers.
two to start the overtime.
Shoulders went for one.
Okay. And what was I gonna say? Yeah, I forgot.
Alex, a
Um,
great security blanket for John.
who was snapping this game?
For
Trollers.
Trollers, Iron Trollers, it was Alex,
Okay.
and witching hour was a boy Vince. No,
Yeah, Alex got those snapper stats.
yeah,
Nine
yeah,
for 54, six touchdown. I was asking Lucas. I could believe snapped for them last season, maybe.
I think so.
And Ben was snapping for Witching Hour.
No, I think it was our buddy. Wasn't there our boy Vince Marot from
Okay.
Wolves?
I don't know. You watched the game, not me.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I did, but did I really watch the game?
Did you
That's
take notes? Because we're playing them this Saturday.
yeah, bro. It's all here. Thank you.
See any of the other D3 games?
Let's see. I saw a bit of Trench Babies against the Hogs, the last game that wasn't all that close. Um, like, look, Trench Babies. This is like you have JS that's thrown in Div 1 before, right? You have a bunch of talent. You have Devin Daoud that's played in Div 1 before. This has got to be one of the favorites to win. Hog Riders, they're 0-4, and maybe they're not in the right division. But, all in all, I think Trench Babies are, in power rankings, they could be even number one, number two ranked team. They beat Him University and gave them their only loss. We'll see what happens right in the game against Nomad that they didn't end up playing in. But besides that game, they're 2-1. But Trench Babies, Terry, on paper, are arguably the best team in this division.
Wow. Better than Drama Club?
That's a good question. Arguably, I'd say yes.
So you arguably means what in that sentence? When you say arguably, I say yes.
Like you could make the case. Like if I was doing power rankings right now, I think I would. I think even though they're 2-1 and Drama Club is 2-0, I think I would put Trench Babies just ahead of Drama Club. Maybe because I'm salty we lost to them week one. I don't want to give Drama Club the props, but Trench Babies are going to be a team to be watched out for sure.
Maybe that comeback win for Witching Hour was a season defining because after losing a Drama Club, being down 13-0 the second game of the day, they come back, and that really makes a big difference being 1-2 or 2-1 at this point in the season.
Especially when you have a lot of teams not making the playoffs, right? You got 8 teams making the playoffs, 5 of them not. I don't think, maybe Hog Riders may have a tough season this year, but Iron Trollers, you would expect that roster to get it going and make the playoffs. Tropic Thunder, didn't they just win the past championship this
In D4, they won the spring D4 championship.
yeah, Spring D4, Thunder Buddies, we hope you get our SHIT together. Action Squad's a good squad. So, yeah.
Do you do all the Montreal divisions?
Yeah, so we're good for the show.
But we have Laval. I got good
Oh,
news though.
trust.
We don't gotta do Brassard.
Yeah, wait, were you at Laval?
Yeah, all day.
Oh, no, respect. Holy cow, was that 71 points? Oh my goodness.
But we don't gotta do Brassard. I thought you'd be happier. Do you want
Praise
to
the
do it?
Lord. Right, wait, Brosser didn't start?
Yeah, but for those wondering,
Oh yeah,
Matt
our boy Matt.
covered in their MFL after hour after flag podcast.
After Flag, yeah.
Is it after hour or after flag?
After Flag.
After flag that's given after hour
Good stuff.
because it's a live broadcast on Sunday night. So tune in for it. But over here, the game of the week had to be the Cougars Sooners 45. Cougars who are previously D-Nasty, changing their name, getting new jerseys. Very nice jerseys, by the way. Actually, both teams had gorgeous jerseys. Um, and they balled out, like Deion Sanders said. Look good, play good, get paid good, all that stuff. I got to shout out, first and foremost, Reginald Gaspar, 7 sacks. And not only did he have 7 sacks, they were on Diego, who's probably one of the most elusive players in the all of MFL. Sydney Taylor Jordan, 2 picks. Very sick picks there. Back and forth game the whole way. Crazy to see that Kevin threw 3 interceptions to Diego's 0 and came up with a victory, right? We mention it often. Turnover on downs is basically a turnover as well. It doesn't show up in the quarterback stat sheet, but it's a team stat that on fourth down, whether you throw an interception or you go turnover on downs, it basically amounts to the same result at the end of the day, right? But this could be a finals preview, right? I know Villains and maybe Bandits have something to say about that, but these two teams could definitely match up again in the finals. Um, should be two of the better teams here. It was great to see Sooners 45 back. Um, Diego throwing a sick touchdown to his brother late in the game, Jose Luis Castro, Arellano, sorry. You pronounce it better.
Ariano, yeah, you said it well.
Yeah, 43 yards here to start the second half. Uh, Slow start for them. Cougars taking the 12-0 lead, but after a few an interception, Sooners marching back up there, and no converts throughout sorry, safety. Oh yeah, there was a 2-point convert and a safety, and then Kevin and Cougars getting that much needed 1 point at the end to seal it. Good decision going for one because there was a penalty on the touchdown scored that carried over to the converts to a major penalty. I gave them the options: 2 from the 5.5, one from the 2.5. I think 90% of the time you go from the 5.5 for 2 points, right? It's like a
Yeah.
3 extra 5 yards. But at this point in time, this late in the game, it served you nothing to go for two. They went for the one from the 2.5. They punched it in. Kevin, being left-handed, rolling out to his left, throwing across his body to Jean-Maxime Roy-Brisson, who actually got the touchdown on the play right before, making an acrobatic catch to get the 1-point convert and actually getting the victory for Cougars starting up the season 1-0 there.
Well, who says rushes don't matter? You got a safety in this game that decides the game. The difference of 2 points, 7 sacks in the game. I assume that's a Laval record,
I think
but
it's a league record. I think it tied a league record.
I was just gonna say, is that a like entire MFL Montreal Brassard Laval record?
Look at the rushers that came out to play this weekend.
Holy
Hugo Raymond for les Pousseux de Ballon had 6 sacks in 2 games. You had Loic with 3, Justin Lord with 1, Justin McLean with another one. We had 5 total safeties
wow.
in 4 games. That's pretty solid there. Rest of the games were not so close. Rob White leading the way with the Bandinos. Grizzlies were missing a bunch of players, but I gotta say, Nick Provias held his own at the quarterback position. His stat line doesn't do him justice, but he was pretty impressive. Early in the game, they started off on offense, had a couple of drops. I think the first 3 passes were literally on the money, like great throws for a guy that probably didn't throw in like a while. Probably didn't help get the start they wanted. Les Pousseurs de Ballon, who were Team Sauce last year, Well, actually, before moving on, Cax over here with 7 for 62, 2 touchdowns. He was definitely Rob's go-to guy. On defense, I mentioned before, Loic with the 3 sacks, trio of interceptions by Mikael, Thomas, and Liam. Great all-around game. Um, and then the third ballon, we're playing against the free agent team here. A little surprising the free agent team didn't show up a little bit earlier to warm up and practice together before the game. But definitely have some things to look forward to. Their quarterback has a great arm, and they had a sub player who's actually going to be joining the team now, who scored the 2 touchdowns. Tall dude, great hands, great speed. So they should be good moving forward. But this game was all Luc Ballon, Zachary Charette Major, having a nearly perfect game, throwing for almost 300 yards, 9 touchdowns, 1 interception. Vincent Desiel clearly being his main guy. Maxime, Georges, Hasboun there too with Anthony Bedil getting 8 of the 9 touchdowns. That trio is something to look out for. 6 sacks by Hugo in this game alone. And then to close out
It's
the
like
day, we
video
had
game stats.
yeah, literally. We were playing Madden. We didn't actually play. It was too
For
rainy, so we
real.
just set up a Madden at my place, and everyone had to go, and we just uploaded the stats to the MFL website afterwards. Tornade, third ballon here. Tornade missing a bunch of players. They were camping this weekend. Team that got added late in the season, but excited to have an 11th team in Laval for 90 total teams across all MFL divisions. But a young squad. I think they still play high school ball. That message like what's the minimum age to join? They were all 17-year-olds, so they're okay there. But they had a few trick plays. Actually, in this game and in the Cheetahs game where they had a few guys that play high school ball, did that hook and ladder. You know what hook and ladder is?
Oh man, that's a Dolphin special.
Exactly. You throw that 5 yard hook, and then they actually with the quarterback. Quarterback was a 5 yard hook, speeds up field, lateral back to the quarterback, and he's zooming downfield. Referees whistle. Why are you guys whistling? Because you're not allowed to do that in 6-on-6 ball. But man, was it impressive. We had 2 teams do it in Laval this past Sunday. I almost wish that it was legal, but it'd be pretty dangerous. But yeah, exciting kickoff to MFL Laval. Looking at next week, Cougars Villains definitely a game I'm circling on my calendar, but also Bellows and Business and Sooners 45 is going to be a good one. So a lot to look forward to. Going to be a good season.
That's awesome. How many teams?
11.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and 7 out of the 11 make the playoffs.
Okay, nice. So just one gets the bye.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, a lot of never mind. I like that name, LaFlag James. That's a good one. But yeah, a lot of great teams. Villains that just won the championship. Our new team in Le Poussé. I'm not going to try and pronounce the rest of it. Scoring a bunch of points. Bandino's good with our boy Fine Wine quarterbacking. So hey, I may come by and watch a few of these games.
Yeah, you can come to my place after and chill if you want.
Respect.
We'll actually play Madden instead.
Oh, bro, you ain't about that life.
All right, let's go to bold predictions.
I already know mine. Well, I already know what I'm going Div 5. Game
You
of
know
the
what?
week.
Let's double dip on Div 5. We'll go to Div 5 bold predictions this week.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
Who are
I'm
you?
going the Orphans. The Orphans, dart throwers.
Okay,
Okay. No, that's ridiculous.
go ahead.
Riolo. Okay, the Orphans score the Orphans score more points than they did last week
That's not possible, but go ahead.
and lose.
So, dart throwers will score at least 64 points.
Correct.
Okay, that's pretty bold. But
Yeah.
I'm in the same. I think we had the same supper today because I have the same order of ideas right now in terms of points for. Are you ready for mine?
But always ready.
There's 9 games, 9 Division 5 games this upcoming Saturday. So all 18 teams, because there are 18 total teams playing, will score at least 30 points. Every game will have at least 30 points scored by both teams.
That is impressive.
I was gonna say 20, but I feel you would have judged me and called me a wimp.
100%. Even 30 is not. But that's like equivalent to almost scoring 50 in Div 1, right?
Saying that they would all score at least 10 points is freaking bold for this division. Look how many like single digits we got. We got a single digit in almost every game this past week. If I would have said 12 points, it should have been bold. Like,
Holy
you got
cow,
a donut every week.
wow. I like that. And you don't know which games you're roughing yet, eh?
No.
So no teams have a doubleheader in Div 5, eh? So you're right. This is 18 teams playing.
Oh, no teams have a double header for you. I didn't even. Wow.
I don't think so. Well, you said 18, so I believed you.
Well, I meant 18 teams.
Yeah, we
Like,
could be wrong, but like that's bold. Hey.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I get what. Yeah,
Like it could have been a double header, and I still would
no
have said.
team will score under 30 points.
Sorry.
Sorry. No team will score under 30 points.
Yeah, but it could have been a double header, and I still would have said that. What I said.
There you go. That's bold. Now you're learning.
Because if there were a double header, wouldn't it counted?
No, because it wouldn't be 18 teams playing, right?
But like the 18, like the 9 matchups, I would have said it in all 9 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just being a bugger.
Yeah. Anyway, good show.
Yeah, good stuff.
Let us know what you guys thought. Keep those thumbs up coming. Maybe a little more comments. Maybe put 2 thumbs up this time. See if they heard that one and if they're going to do it. Hopefully there's no more rain. I think it rained enough this past weekend for the rest of the year. Let us know your thoughts. You guys could be buggers too. Anything else?
Leafs suck. And
Yes.
sorry to all the Leafs fans out there. But yes, thank you for tuning in. Without you guys, there is no show. That's what I always say.
Facts. All right, so see y'all on Saturday.